Alrighty, here's number 3. We're given a function which looks like a piecewise function because we have different formulas depending on our domain, right? So what we're going to do is evaluate f of -1, f of 0, f of 2, and f of 4. So let's work with these each individually. So f of -1, okay, so this is going to be equal to, well, we kind of run into a problem because it's like, well, which formula do I use? So the way you tell is based on the x value that you're given. So our input value is -1, and x equals -1 falls in this category of less than 0, right? So that tells us to use formula number 1. So we just plug that in here, so 5 times -1, we just get an answer of -5 for f of -1, okay? So that's that part. We're 25% of the way through our problem, and then we have f of 0. So now x is equal to 0, so this tells us we're inside this one here, right? Because that includes the 0, so we just have 3, so this is simply equal to 3, okay? And now if we do f of 2, our x is equal to 2, which again falls in this middle category, or this middle domain. So again, we have this being equal to 3, according to our formula. And then lastly, we have f of 4. So x is equal to 4, and that goes in the last domain there. So we're just going to use this x squared formula. So we just plug in 4 in for x. So 4 squared is equal to 16. Okay? And those are our 4 answers. Okay, number 4, we're told to write the formula for the piecewise function. And this is the function given, or our graph anyways, right? So we have 2 pieces, right? So we see a constant graph here, and something that looks kind of like half of a U, a parabola shape, right? So what we're going to have going on is, well, we have to see first of all, where is the change in the domain happening, okay? That's the important thing to note about piecewise functions. Where do the changes in the graphs occur, or the changes in the formula that you should be using, okay? And the answer for this question would be at 0, right? Because at x equals 0, that's where we change graphs, okay? So x equals 0 is like our critical point, or I like to call it the transition point. I'm pretty sure that's not like a formal term or anything, but I think that's where you transition from using one formula to using another, right? So anyways, so let's look at the first one. So when x is, let's say, so when x is less than or equal to 0, then we have our constant function, right? So then x is equal to 3. Or f of x is equal to 3 when our, well, we could say if our x is less than or equal to 0. And I know that the equals or equals belongs here because we have a closed dot right there, okay, as opposed to down here. We didn't fill in that dot, but we filled in the upper one. So the upper one, which is the constant function, includes that or equals to 0, okay? And then how do we do the other one? So this would be if x is greater than 0, strictly greater than, not or equal to, right? So if it's strictly greater than 0, then we have what looks like our parabola, so that would be x squared, okay? And that's pretty much it. This is our, we've constructed our the formula for our piecewise function.